Good afternoon, and agenda item 1, sorry, good afternoon and welcome. I will start the meeting with agenda item 1, appointment of chairperson. I propose that I will be chair. Can I have a seconder, please?
I second.
Thank you, Sean. Agenda item 2, chairperson's announcement. Welcome to this hybrid meeting of Social Services, Housing and Community Safety Cabinet Board on the 25th of January 2024. I'm Councillor Hale, Cabinet Member for Adult Social Services and Health. Just a few points to cover before we move on to the next agenda item. This meeting will be recorded. Please can you ensure that your phones are switched to silence for the duration of the meeting. Can members and officers who are present in the chamber please use their microphones when speaking. When asked to raise your hand, can members who are virtually viewing this meeting raise your electronic hand? Members who are in the chamber, please raise your physical hand. Agenda item 3. Are there any declarations of interest? If so, Nadine will forward an electronic version of the form to you to complete and email back to her. Agenda item 4. The minutes from the meeting held on the 16th of November 2023 are for noting. Minutes of previous meeting, I propose, can I have a seconder?
I second.
Thank you, Sean. Agenda item 5. This is for noting, no decision is required. Forward work programme. Agenda item 6. We have received no notifications from the public to speak at today's meeting. Public question time. Agenda item 7. The report is here for decision and is on page 13 to 77. The Director's Annual Report 2022 to 23. Do officers have any further comments on the report?
Nothing further, Chair.
Thank you, Andrew. Now refer members to the recommendations on page 16 and the associated appendices contained within your agenda pack. I propose, if I could have a seconder, please.
I second, Chair.
Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary and can confirm that the report has been approved.
Agenda item 8. The report is here for decision and is on pages 79 to 158, but appendix 6 and 7 are exempt. Housing and Homeless Strategic Plan 24 to 27. Do officers have any further comments on the report?
No further comments, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Shelley. Members, do you have any questions on the report or appendix 6 and 7?
Chair,
I now refer...
Chair, sorry.
Sorry, yes, Alan.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just like to make a brief comment, as I referred to earlier in the scrutiny session. I'd to thank Shelley for your presentation today, for leading on this important work and presenting the outcome of the consultation to us. I'd also like to thank the scrutiny members for your questions and comments, not only today, but while the strategy has been developed and prepared for consultation over several months. And it's been good to discuss these proposals with such a range of stakeholders, users of our services, members, and of course our staff members. This is the first comprehensive housing and homelessness strategy of its kind to be devised by Neath Talbot, certainly since our council housing stock was transferred over 10 years ago. It's essential that as the local authority, we have the leading strategic role in addressing and resolving the housing crisis, which is affecting all of our communities, not just in Neath Talbot, but across Wales, and indeed the whole of the UK, as you've seen in news coverage this week of the critical housing, homelessness and financial situation facing many councils in England. We will, of course, continue to make the case to both Welsh Government and UK Government that social housing must be properly funded and supported, particularly in view of the new responsibilities and expectations placed on local councils. Now, the success of the strategy will depend on the good working relationship that is being developed with our partners in housing associations, the RSLs, the third sector support providers, and an understanding the needs of our communities, and as raised in scrutiny with the private sector landlords and developers. It will include our own active role in beginning to provide council-owned housing for the first time in over a decade, and the range of initiatives outlined to build new housing and bring empty properties back into use in our towns, valleys and villages. And as stated in scrutiny, This is an ambitious proposal, but the strategy and investment is essential to support our staff teams that work tirelessly to support people facing housing need and homelessness, to reduce the unacceptable costs and unsuitability of temporary housing, to help those on the ever-lengthening waiting lists for housing, and to properly resource the work of our partners. So I'm very pleased to support the recommendation to adopt this strategy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Alan. I now refer members to the recommendations on page 94 and the associated appendices contained within your agenda pack. I propose, if I could have a seconder, please.
I second, Chair.
Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you're in favour of the recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary and can confirm that the report has been approved.
Thank you. Agenda item 9. Neath, Talbot, Young Children and Young People Social Care Strategic Plan 23 to 26. The report is here for decision and is on pages 79 to 158, with Appendix 5 exempt from public discussion. Do officers have any further comments on the report?
No further comments, Chair.
Thank you, Kerry. I now refer members to the recommendations on... Sorry, members, do you have any questions on the report or on Appendix 5?
Yeah, I just like to thank for all three plans, because I think they all interlink. Our children become adults, our adults need a house, and all three are in our community. So I think it's fantastic that they're all overlapping. I welcome the transition team, because although our children do turn adults overnight, we do know they come in. So it's lovely to see all that put in place and the houses. And regarding the consultation on the children's services one, really, how many children under the age of 18 fill in an online consultation? And these are the children that we need the replies and the answers from. And I know with Darren going out engaging with some of the groups, I went to Your Voice with Darren Bartley and Vic last night, and they sure have their own opinions on what they're going to say, and they will tell you. So that's where they're getting the information from. So it was lovely. They know what they want. So that's what we should be listening to. So thank you for all three plans, and it's nice to see that all three sections working together for the benefit of the communities.
Thank you, Sian. I now refer members to the recommendations on page 163 and the associated appendices contained within your agenda pack. I propose, if I could have a seconder, please.
I second, Chair.
Members, if you do not indicate it to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary and can confirm that the report has been approved.
Thank you. Agenda item 10, Neath Talbot, Adult Social Care Strategy 23 to 26. The report is here for decision and is on pages 213 to 282. Do officers have any further comments on the report?
Nothing further to add, Chair.
Thank you, Angela. Members, any questions? Thank you. I now refer members to the recommendations on pages 217 and the associated appendices contained within your agenda pack. I propose, if I could have a seconder, please.
I second, Chair.
Members, if you do not indicate the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you're in favour of the recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary and can confirm that the report has been approved.
Thank you. Agenda item 11, urgent items. I have received no urgent items. Agenda item 12, access to meetings. We now need to consider the exempt information. I propose to resolve to exclude the public for the following item of business pursuant to Regulation 4, 3 and 5 of Statutory Instrument 2001 number 2290 and exempt paragraph 14 of part 4 of Schedule 12A to the Local Government Act 1972. Please could I have a seconder?
I second, Chair.
I can confirm the recording being stopped. Thank you. And there's no press.